Republican Senator Josh Hawley of Missouri joins me now. Senator, good to have you with us tonight. You know, I guess my question is big picture, right? Are we going to look back on this data point of the closing of this embassy and the burning of those documents as sort of a flashpoint of an escalation that leads to ultimately either a Cold War or, God forbid, a hard war with China over the course of the next several years?
Well, part of standing up to China now, Martha, is to prevent a hot war with them. That's certainly not what we want, but we also can't be pushed around. And look, we should be clear about the fact that China is an imperial power, that they want to extend their power all around the world. And there's one nation in particular that stands between them and world domination, and that's us. And we're not going to be pushed around anymore. And today's action with the consulate, I think, sends a clear signal to Beijing. We're not going to tolerate their spying. We're not going to tolerate their espionage. We're not going to tolerate their breaking of United States law. We're going to get tough, and it's about time.
I mean, they're working on a trade deal with the EU. They're, have warm relationships in Latin America, in Africa. They are clearly sort of lining themselves up to be the next world dominant power, which is what has been their desire for some time. How do we stop that?
Well, we stop it by doing what we did today, which is to stand up to them when they cheat, when they lie. It's also to expose their lies globally. For instance, what they've lied about, all the lies they've told with COVID-19, trying to blame the origins of the virus on United States soldiers, for heaven's sake. Total lie. That's why I've called for an international commission led by the United States to actually get the evidence, to make China pay for what they have done, to get reparations. But the truth is, Martha, that they are on the back foot, the Chinese government is. You now have our allies waking up to the fact the UK is kicking out Huawei, the Chinese telecom company, kicking it out of the United Kingdom. We've already taken those actions. China's in trouble here. They know that, and that's why they're trying to double down. This is a moment where we've got to stand firm and say that we will not be pushed around. We will stand up for our people. Yeah.
Here's former Vice President Joe Biden running for president, of course, on this topic. Watch this.
And look what he's doing now. He's blaming everything on China. He's blaming everything on the Chinese. He's blaming everything, and people don't make a distinction, as you well know, from a South Korean and someone from Beijing. They make no distinction. It's Asia, and that's the way. And he's just using it as a wedge. He's trying to shift the blame.
Your thoughts?
You know, Vice President Biden has long been a China appeaser. He's long been an appeaser of the authoritarians in Beijing. Just earlier this year, he was talking about how China didn't pose a real threat to the United States. I mean, oops. That's not exactly the story of 2020. We've seen this year what a threat China is to the world. So the vice president, I think, is radically out of touch with reality on this, as on so many issues. But it's dangerous, him being this out of touch on China. We need somebody, we need leadership that's going to stand up and be strong on China, be strong for American workers, be strong for American security.
I just want to play this video. This is 2019 drone video that appears to show blindfolded Uyghurs being transported, according to one report, from one concentration camp to another. And this is an interview that Bill Hemmer did earlier today with the daughter of someone who's being held in one of these camps. This is really very scary video. Listen to her.
My father is not the only person who is in prison. There are thousands of hundreds of Uyghurs, just like my father, are locked up in a prison or a concentration camp.
Her father's was a very well-known economist in China. What do you think when you see that video, and does it change our relationship even more?
Should change our relationship, should also inspire us to stand up and hold accountable those American multinational corporations that have shipped our jobs over to China that are now using these Uyghur concentration camps. And that's what they are. They're concentration camps, using them for cheap labor. And that's one of the reasons, Martha, I've launched this campaign called Slave Free, hashtag Slave Free. I am challenging all of these American multinationals, beginning with the NBA and Nike and others that make their products in China that use slave labor, to pledge that they will be slave-free, and I've introduced legislation to make sure it happens.
I did read that the NBA is not practicing at one of their training camps in Xinjiang anymore. Small move, but step in the right direction?
Well, here's what will be a real step and would show real progress. Are they willing to actually say that they will not make any NBA apparel in China with forced labor? Are they willing to take the pledge that the league does not rely on slave labor for any of its products? You know, is LeBron James willing to take the pledge that his Nike products don't rely on slave labor? That, I think, would show true progress.
Yeah, it would show that human rights are an issue, a universal issue that hold true for these individuals who are obviously, feel very strongly about human rights in this country. So, Senator Hawley, thank you. Good to see you tonight.
Thank you.